Hare Krishna, good evening. Please accept my most humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Bhakti Charamaj. So this evening we will continue with our discussion on Nectar of Instruction. We were discussing, for reference, the third verse of Nectar of Instruction. Utsan nisyada yat tat karma pavartanat. Sangatyara saturvite satbir bhakti prasidati. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1 being enthusiastic, 2 endeavoring with confidence, 3 being patient, 4 acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna, and abandoning the association of non-devotees and following the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So these are 6 principles will undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. And we were discussing for many weeks now Tatat Karma Pavartanat, the regulative principles of devotional service. So especially the 9 principles or 9 angas of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Varnam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivednam. And last week we started to discuss Archanam, deity worship. And we are in the beginning of this discussion on deity worship as one of the most important practices of devotional service. Last week we discussed already that the practice of deity worship in Kali Yuga must always go together with the chanting of the holy names. One must chant 16 rounds to get Brahman initiation and to be able to do deity worship. We spoke also last week about we spoke also last week about the difference between the Shravana, Kirtana, Vishnu, Smaranam. That's the first. That is called Bhagavat Vidhi. There's a process of the Bhagavatam, hearing, remembering and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. And the second part is Pancharatra Vidhi, deity worship, Archanam. And now we will go deeper in this Archanam, trying to understand this Pancharatrika Vidhi. And therefore, I will share with you a PowerPoint that is on the screen now, that and speak especially on this Archanam, this this Pancharatrika Vidhi. Just bring it on the screen. So I typed it out so that it will be easier for you to follow. We are discussing at present Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion describes the signs of devotional service, and Nectar of Instruction that we are discussing is a summary of it. In Nectar of Devotion, 64 items of devotional service are described. We find that also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. that Lord Chaitanya explains the 64 items to Sanatana Goswami. He explained them also to Rupa Goswami. And he requested Sanatana Goswami. I think in the Madhya Lila there are 4 chapters in which Lord Chaitanya instructs Sanatana Goswami. And at the end, he requests Sanatana Goswami to write a work, Hari Bhakti Vilas. At the time, Prabhupada translated the Nectar of Instruction. This Hari Bhakti Vilas was not yet translated in English. But today, Hari Bhakti Vilas is available for everyone. You can buy it. The English translation. It contains more than 2,000 instructions. And it's practically impossible to follow them all. But the behavior of a devotee in devotional service and the Vaishnava etiquette and so on, is also is described very deeply in Hari Bhakti Vilas. So in the first 20 items of the 64 items of devotional service, well, the first 10 are things we should do, like accepting a spiritual master, following his instructions, taking initiation, and so on. And the next 10 are things not to do. Follow the 4 relative principles and other instructions, like following Ekadashi and so on. No, that's in the first 10, follow Ekadashi. But anyway, 10 things to do, 10 things not to do, and then it gives these 44 items. Well, there are these last 44 items. They are about deity worship. That's Panchayataka Vidhi. And Srila Prabhupada mentions a separate chapter about the 5 most potent items of devotional service, which is chanting the holy name, associating with devotees, worshipping the deity, hearing the Bhagavatam, and living in a holy dham or in a temple. If you are at home, you can turn your house or home into a temple by worshipping the deity. But Srila Rupa Goswami especially puts a lot of importance on deity worship. Now, that's an important point. If we are a Madhyamadikar, then we do not need to do deity worship. A Madhyamadikar is one who is halfway devotional service. Madhyamadikar is on the liberated platform, is liberated. That he has purified his heart with success. So that is a stage we hope to attain in this life. To become a Madhyamadikar. Prabhupada said if you become a Madhyamadikar, you don't take birth again. Because you are on the liberated platform. But as long as we are in the conditioned state, then deity worship is useful for us. Because when you are a Madhyamadikar, there are no disturbances in the mind anymore. You can think of Krishna every moment. But deity worship helps to fix our mind and attention to Krishna. So this deity worship of Pancharatra creates regulation. In deity worship, everything must be on time, must be according to so many rules and regulations. That's Pancharatna in the Bhagavad Gita. There are no rules and regulations, just hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. But in deity worship, so many rules and regulations. And that allows us to absorb ourselves in hearing and chanting about Krishna. Because otherwise we get distracted. So that deity worship helps us to fix and to be regulated. When I was trained at the end of the 90s in deity worship in Radhadesh, I was doing pujari service for a few years there. And it's the worship of Radha, Gopinath, Lalita Vishaka, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, and Gaunitai. And you feel you must be very regulated. And it's also very blissful because it enhances your Krishna consciousness to very regulated, in very regulated way. Now, where does the Pancharatra come in? So this Pancharatma means method. A method how to connect with Krishna. It gives us a practice how to connect with Krishna every moment. We have practices that are directly in contact, directly in relation to deity worship. There are other activities which are indirectly related to deity worship. Like taking a bath is indirectly connected, because then you can worship the deity. That we must first take a bath, that put on tilak and so on. So there are in deity worship and Sratna, there are two kinds of practice: the direct activity of worship and indirect activity that gives facility to worship. That we will see indirect activities called abhigamanam. In that there are five categories of practice in deity worship, and upadan also. That we will discuss that a little further. So we are conditioned, and our conditioned nature must be engaged properly. We must become connected with Krishna, and deity worship facilitates that. Because the Pancharatra gives regulation by which a conditioned soul can be engaged in bhakti activities without getting deviated. Yes, that is the point. Engage the mind, fix the mind on Krishna, on service of Krishna. So Pancharatma is the same as Bhagavad. Bhagavad Gita means hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, means fixing our mind on Krishna. But there are no rules, but Pancharatma is the same, a method to fix our mind on Krishna, but so many rules. So because we are not on the platform of prema, we need a practice to develop this love for Krishna. And to get there, so this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We learn that the demons also follow the Vedas. Interesting that even Ravan, before going to attack Ram, he engaged Rakshasi Brahmins to chant the Vedic hymns to attract auspiciousness. That's despite modern academic theory, Hiranyakashipu wore a dhoti. So that's the Vedic style. That because the demons knew that if we follow this karma kanda, the teachings of Sukracharya, we will be able to enjoy more. That so it gives also facility for material enjoyment. That and the demons understood that. Then they understood the Vedic principles of Rita. Rita means that the universe is governed by certain energies, and we must contact these energies in an appropriate way, cooperate to be able to enjoy. Therefore, even the demons did jagyas in these Vedic times. That they understood outside the Vedic scope, there is no efficient way to make material nature respond. That is the science to get material nature respond. So, like, it's Pancharatma. Yeah, it's said here to train a horse. The best way is to do that by the material laws to train a horse. The horse will be happy and you will be done what you want to get done. So God's laws apply also to the material energy. And the demons were very much aware of that in the Vedic times. That, in modern societies, what does modern society get out of the material energy? Today, fruits and vegetables look very nice, but they have no taste. Polluted air to breathe. That today you can see weather forecast, air quality very bad. That very current. That my internet connection is not good. I hope I can be able to stay online, but we'll see. So you have to buy water today. In the 60s, when I remember buying water in a bottle, that was unknown. Nobody knew about that. But later, all these plastic bottles and so on that came gradually introduced. Clothes are synthetic, made of petrol. People get divorced, no relationships. That here in Belgium, I heard that it's between 30 and 40% of the people live alone. That's one person living alone, no relationships. That even sun's gratification is not really happening. That so that is today the modern society. That is modern society giving us results superior to the Vedic model? Answer is no. Therefore, the demons even they follow this Vedic culture. When one says that modern times are superior to Vedic culture, then they are more foolish than the demons. However, we are interested in how the Vedic culture is teaching us how to connect with Krishna. And that's the Varnashram system. In the Bhagavatam it is Varnashram is meant for Haritoshnam, for pleasing the Supreme Lord. And that connects us with Krishna. Indirectly, but it connects. And that rule applies also to the Pancharatma. it helps us to connect with Krishna. So we we are going deeper. I'm sorry. We are going deeper into the into the meaning of deity worship. Why do we do it? That because we are in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, only the chanting of the holy name works, but deity worship, we are not qualified to it. But if we chant the holy name, then we can also do deity worship, because we need practical activity. So the Pancharatma takes those aspects of the Vedas that are directly connected with Krishna. Therefore, when Brahma lost the Vedas, he requested the Supreme Lord, please give it me again, but it took so long, so give me the essence. And Krishna gave him 5 nights. The essence is what directly connects us to Krishna. So Smriti has to be based on Shruti. What is Shruti? Shruti are the original Vedas. Then the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda. And the Smriti are the commentaries. Commentaries by sages that the Puranas and so on are histories mostly, and are explaining us how to connect with Krishna. So the Vedas is the authority of the Pancharatna. It's the essence. That's what connects us to Krishna. And now, what is the result of following this Pancharatna? One will come to the Bhagavat platform, always thinking of Krishna. So there is a connection between the Pancharatna and the Vedic culture. But in the spiritual world, it is natural. For our soul, it's natural to follow this culture. This culture to serve the Supreme Lord. So that helps us, this deity worship helped us to become spiritually absorbed. You can pray to the deity, you can serve the deity in so many ways. And then by doing that, all our needs will be fulfilled. So Pancharatna connects us with Krishna. Demons do not understand that it is spiritual culture, and therefore the result they get is not spiritual. That's they are using it for material purposes. If you don't perform an activity for Krishna, you don't get a spiritual result. So that's important. What's the origin of Pancharatma? We discussed that in brief already. So after Lord Brahma, before the creation, heard all the Vedas, 2 demons appeared, Madhu and Kaitav. So it was before the creation. These demons could steal things from your mind. It's very subtle theft. They accessed Lord Brahma's mind and stole the Vedas. He lost them. And it took such a long time and many years of tapa, austerity. So the Lord Brahma requested the Lord again to please teach it me again. Because he could die at any moment. So Brahma had a very long life, but he was thinking, I can die at every moment. And the teaching of the Vedas takes time. So Lord Brahma requested the Lord to teach him first the essence before teaching the entire Vedas again. That was his request. Then the Lord taught him the essence of the Vedas in 5 nights. That's called Pancharatna, 5 nights. So what is connected to Krishna is important, what is not connected to Krishna is not important. That we should also understand in our lives. That what connects us for Krishna is valuable, the rest is not valuable. So Krishna consciousness is learning how to connect everything with Krishna. That's making the connection. So this knowledge has been given by Brahma to Narada, and Narada gave it to us. Therefore it's known as Narada Pancharatnam. So technically it's called Narada Pancharatna, but also all 108 Pancharatnas can be called Narada Pancharatna. Why? Because it all came to him. He gave it to everyone else. That was his service, one of his services. So in summary, our conditioned nature need to be engaged properly, be connected. And this Pancharatna gives us the regulations by which we conditioned soul can engage in bhakti activities without getting deviated. So Bhagavat, Pancharatma is Bhagavat, but it applies to rules. Because we are not on a platform of prema, we get a practice to get there. And that is this deity worship. But before doing deity worship, we must accept an appropriate lifestyle. That a lifestyle, our entire lifestyle must become the lifestyle described in Pancharatnam. But our focus should always be on the chanting of the holy name first. But the Pancharatma, deity worship, gives a form that we can relate to. We can relate to the deity, that as a person, and pray and serve. But that lifestyle is nothing unnatural. It's the same lifestyle as in the spiritual world. But in the spiritual world, it is spontaneous. We do not have that spontaneous attraction. That we lost it by contact with the material energy since time immemorial. In other words, Pancharatna is a set of codes. So Pancharatma means a set of codes that covers how to engage in deity worship. That in the beginning part of Pancharatma describes the Abhigamana. That means preliminary activities before we can do deity worship. But these preliminary activities, they are for all devotees. All devotees, even those who are not going on the altar, but they come to Mangalarti. Before coming to Mangalarti, you must offer obeisance to the spiritual master. Go to the bathroom, clean your tongue, brush your teeth, take a bath, then put up tilak, wearing neck beads, then the clean clothes, that chant Gayatri for the Brahmins. So, clean the place, go to the temple, ring the bell, chant in deities of the names of the deities, offer obeisances. Everyone must do that in the morning. Because deity worship means not just a pujari. When you go to the morning program and you sing with the devotees, then yes, when you sing with the devotees, you are also doing deity worship. We are praying to the deities. It's going to the morning program, to the temple, attending Mangalati is part of the Pancharatna. Then we attend Mangalarti, worship the deities, worship the spiritual master, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, worship Tulsi, receive guests, and take prasad. And then you do various services for the deity. There's coming something in between also that we will discuss this a little further. But we are discussing here the preliminary activities that we must do before doing deity worship. Now, it means Pancharatma means the lifestyle of a devotee. So tomorrow is Karpunim, Lord Chaitanya appeared as Bhakta Rupa in the form of his own devotee to show how one must live as a devotee. His lifestyle was always the lifestyle of Pancharatnam. But our focus is on Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna. But we do also the deity worship as a method, an important method. Although also applicable in Kali Yuga, but we must do it while chanting Hare Krishna. So Pancharata gives Bhagavata form in which the conditioned soul can relate to. I'm sorry. Yes, it is the same lifestyle as in the spiritual world. But in the spiritual world, it is spontaneous. We do not have that spontaneous attraction here. We lost it. But as our heart will become uncovered, pure, yes, if our heart becomes uncovered, if our contamination goes, then that spontaneous attraction will come. But deity worship helps us to revive it. So the spontaneous attraction is natural, but we lost it. But the tendency is still in the soul, because that's the activity of the pure soul. So rules are created to create that force that we can live a lifestyle similar to that in the spiritual world. So Pancharatka Pradip, that is the book, that is the manual. That's in the beginning, I think in the 80s, this essence of deity worship of Hari Bhakti Vilas was, especially to deity worship, was put in 2 red books with all the details how to worship the deity. that you see them still in many libraries of devotees, especially when they have been in the movement for years. But that has been our guide for deity worship for many years, these two red books on that. So it's all these rules are meant so that we can live a lifestyle similar as the spiritual world. So the Pancharatra Pradip, yeah, I'm writing here only a handful of devotees who have actually read it. You see it everywhere in the libraries, but it's rare to find devotees who have read it. So it's a process to create our good fortune. By following this Pancharatma, our life becomes regulated. Pancharatma instructs us how to live a lifestyle for one who worships the deity. So the gopis, they don't have to chant their rounds. No, they do it naturally. They don't need rules and regulations, but we need rules and regulations to come to that platform, and that's the Pancharatma. There is a Jnana section in the Pancharatma. It establishes how Krishna incarnates as a deity in the material world, Archa Vigra. That is also there. Then it gives us equal opportunities. One who sees the worship and one who does the worship gets the same benefit, equal opportunities. So that means the pujari or the devotee who attends Mangala Arti, they get the same benefit. Krishna says that one who says that is my devotee, he is not my devotee. That means a very humble attitude, and that we try to become devotees. That is our inner attitude that's conducive for making spiritual advancement. So because we don't want to become a leader, we want to assist all the other devotees. And that we want to assist Krishna, to assist the spiritual master, to assist Srila Prabhupada. Because Krishna had already so many eternal associates who are assisting him. The gopis, they are assisting Mother Yasoda, Radharani. And the gopis are happy to see Mother Yasoda happy. So the gopis get Mother Yasoda's happiness and their own happiness. That's the principle. So Pancharatma helps us so that everyone can benefit. So the rasa dance stopped at a certain time. Krishna disappeared. And then, because the gopis were thinking when they were dancing with Krishna, I'm the most fortunate gopi. And Krishna disappeared. But then they started to cooperate, chanting Hare Krishna together, searching for Krishna together. They started to cooperate, and Krishna appeared again. So this is a chance to cooperate with Krishna. Learn how to cooperate with Krishna. That's the Pancharatma. So the gopis became more attached to Krishna after the Lord Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance. So they were feeling separation, but they realized that the separation of Srimati Radharani was greater because she disappeared with Krishna. And when they understood that, yeah, we are not the greatest, that we are only the servant, and Krishna came back. So Radha and Krishna performed the rasa dance in the middle of all the gopis. So all that they had to accept is that she is the greatest. If you are not assisting, then you are not part of the process. As jivas, we are always instruments. They are always assistants. That is their nature. The idea is that we must assist. And the Pancharatric methods facilitates that cooperation. So we must always be aware of these dynamics, and this Pancharatric methods helps us how to cooperate, how to assist Krishna. Because that's another point. Krishna, our consciousness needs a form. And so all these rules helps us to give a form. That the form is given to invoke our consciousness. We see the deity, we can think of the deity. It gives a form. So finally, it's all a culture. When we follow Krishna's culture, that means we are following Pancharatma. So this Pancharatma, this deity worship, is very valuable if we understand the connection of the rules with Krishna. We should not see the rules different from Krishna. Not like the Jashik Brahmins, ritualistic Brahmins. They were performing the rules to go to the heavenly planets, but they forgot the connection with Krishna. So we need to practice this now, not at the end of our lives. So there are these 5 stages in Pancharatma. So all what I told is practically an introduction to these 5 stages. So first we have the Abhigamana. That these are things we are doing before deity worship, before going to the temple. We get up in the morning. First we offer respects to the spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. And we take a bath, then clean clothes, dressing, but putting tilak, that go to the temple and ring the bell of obeisance to the spiritual master, of obeisance to the deities, and that attend Mangalarti. So that is the Abhigamana, things we have to do before. But then the pujaris, they do upadan. Upadan means they are collecting paraphernalia. They are connecting paraphernalia for worship of the deity. That just a moment. I take some tissue. I'm back in a moment. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I'm back. So there's the Abhigamana, but the Upadan means getting all the paraphernalia for worship. That it's not only the puja plate with all the paraphernalia and the flowers, but also everything for the bathing, that for Abhishek, that preparing the flower garlands, preparing everything. That's the upadan. And that includes also cooking and having the preparations ready to offer. That's upadan. After doing upadan, and before going on the altar, we have to do yoga. Yoga means because in Abhigamana, we prepare our body, we clean it and so on externally. But yoga means internal, that internal, and all the pujaris know that when they follow the procedure properly before dressing the deity, or before bathing the deity, before starting this worship. They are many pray the Buddhist Suddhi prayers. These are prayers for internal purification of the mind. There are prayers in which we express that we are a servant of Krishna, that we are not his body, but spirit soul, that we are servant of the spiritual master, and so on, our spiritual identity. That purifies the mind. But these are prayers before worshipping the deity, and then we worship the spiritual master. We do puja for the spiritual master, offering flowers or offering a tulsi leaf with chandan, put it in his hand so that he can offer to the deities. And then we meditate on the spiritual master, sitting aside Lord Chaitanya. And then we worship Lord Chaitanya. And after worshipping Lord Chaitanya, then we are ready to do the main worship, the Ijja. That's the main worship. Ijja means, yes, we go on the altar, we change the drinking pots, and we start to undress the deity, put gamshas on the deity. Then we put the deity into the bathing vessel, and we are bathing the deities. And but before bathing, we are offering different substances to clean the mouth and so on. There are many details in deity worship. And then we bathe after bathing, we are of course drying the deities, offering clothes, jewels, and so on. And then putting the turban. And then after that, after dressing the deities, we do the food offering, followed by puja. That's the Ijja. But then it's not finished. And we have the last stage, Svatjaya. Deity worship is not complete without a study of the scripture, without Bhagavatam class. Must be there. That if we are at home performing deity worship and there's no Bhagavatam class, then read a chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. At the end, after the deity worship, read always a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, only the Sanskrit or only the translation or both. It doesn't take long. That especially the 15th chapter, the 12th and the 15th chapter are short, but that it's good to read every day another chapter. Then you have also study of the scriptures. Otherwise, your deity worship is not complete. And then there is distribution of prasad, Charanamrita, but also the prasad must be distributed, must be shared with all the devotees. Or the deity worship is not complete. So these are 5 stages of deity worship. Usually I give before a deity worship course, and we were we had at least one complete session of each of these 5 stages, that with pictures and so on from with pictures from the Pancharatrika Pradeep book, with the kind of vessels to use, so many things, so many details. So it's good for all of you, if you have the occasion, if you didn't do that, to follow in Mayapur a deity worship course. It will give you another dimension to the deity worship. That it is very nice. That so this was an introduction to the Pancharatna. Any questions, please?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So I'm a householder, so it's I'm trying to stop some things, but getting away from non-devotees is almost impossible in my profession. Is there some? I limit my contact with them, and that came naturally because of my association with actual devotees. It just made more sense. So how do we get around, or how do we work with these things? Because I know as a householder, they want me to live at a temple. We try to make our house a temple, and I'm making sure I'm on the right path to success here.
Yes, this is a very important point. Therefore, we must understand what association is. Association is the adapting, doing what the other are doing. We are not doing that. That we should try to give our association to others, not to take it, unless it's for devotees. Giving, but not taking. It means we are associating with people for business, but that's only for business. We are not adopting their culture or their habits, and we avoid that. And we have association just for the business, not for other purposes. That so that is something we have to train ourselves in. And that association of devotees is much more valuable. That so yes, does that help?
Yeah, just giving me some clarification, Maharaj. Thank you for your time, and thank you for an excellent evening.
Yeah, I would say also we can give association, we can give prasad, but we
Which
cannot.
I do try to do
Yeah,
periodically.
yeah,
So good. All right, Hari Bol.
yeah, we can give prasad, we can give some books, but otherwise we are keeping a polite distance. We are only associating for the business. Something else? But
Not for me, Maharaj. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That maybe we have still a few minutes. Can someone read the paragraph which is on the screen?
If
Yes.
nobody's
It is therefore recommended that initiated devotees follow the principles of Narada Pancharatra by worshiping the deity in the temple, especially for householder devotees who are opulent in material possessions. The path of deity worship is strongly recommended. An opulent householder devotee who does not engage his hard-earned money in the service of the Lord is called a miser. One should not engage paid brahmanas to worship the deity. If one does not personally worship the deity, but engages paid servants instead, he is considered lazy, and his worship of the deity is called artificial. An opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for deity worship, and consequently for householder devotees, the worship of the deity is compulsory. In our Krishna consciousness movement, there are brahmacharis, grihastas, vanaprastas, and sannyasis. But the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprastas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grihasta devotees, however, are generally engaged in material activities, and therefore, if they do not take to deity worship, their falling down is positively assured. Deity worship means following the rules and regulations precisely. That will keep one steady in devotional service. Generally, householders have children, and then the wives of the householders should be engaged in caring for the children, just as women acting as teachers care for the children in a nursery school.
Yeah, thank you. So this paragraph contains important points that so the first thing, the first aspect is that householders they should do deity worship. That's important. The deity should be the master of the house. That and that according to one's means, one should worship the deity. So one should not be miserly, but spend what's necessary for the deity worship. The deity is Supreme Personality of Godhead, like a king. The king gets the best. So always we give the best to the deity. And one should worship the deity personally. Not like in some rich families in India, they engage a pujari to worship the deity. That Prabhupada did not approve that here. That's so we must spend for the deity. And then Prabhupada speaks about brahmacharis, grihastas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis. He says it's especially for the householders. The brahmacharis and the sannyasis, they are engaged in preaching, and the vanaprasthas are preparing themselves for sannyas. So yes, devotional service keeps one steady in devotional service because you cannot interrupt the deity worship. You must worship the deity in the morning and the evening, putting to rest in the evening, waking up. So it's an ongoing business and it keeps one engaged in devotional service. Good. We will continue next week with the next paragraph. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I'm looking forward to see you in a few hours for the lecture on Karpunim, the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, a most auspicious day. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai.
Hare Krishna.